Welcome to week 2 of Graphic Design for Beginners. Today we'll be going over how to start a project that someone has sent you or a project that a client has given you. And we're going to be working on flyers today. Just to recap for class from last week, this is an introductory course, so it's not going to teach you every single thing you need to know about graphic design. It's not going to teach you Photoshop in this specific course. It is a 4-week introduction. I'm going to teach you how to take some basic information and use Canva, which is a free resource online, to be able to make a flyer for a client or for yourself in a good way with ease. So not going in a lot of detail. In today's class, we're just going to be going over the basics of a good flyer and what that looks like, and the basics and good components in our graphic design. As we do that, I'm going to be going a little bit fast, but we're going to go over some key terms as we learn as well, so that we're learning basics of graphic as we're learning how to make a flyer. So today, we're going to go ahead and if you did not watch last week's lesson, please do go back and watch last week's lesson and start with week 1 of learning Canva and learning the components of Canva, also learning some of those introductory key terms and elements that we originally had. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with Canva. You can follow so you can learn as well. All right, here is Canva. And it's canva.com. You can just log in and the screen here. And just like we did last week, we're going to pull up the information that we got from our client and what they asked us for. Today, we're going to be making a flyer for a horse ranch, Airbnbs, to get people to want to book them. And that's the client for. So we're going to be learning a few key terms this way, and I'll be showing it to you as I show you on the screen. Let's see. Now that we are in Canva, we're going to start with, first thing we're going to start with, because we're new, is using a template. We're going to start with, I'm going to use words that make sense. So let's say horse template, let's say Airbnb, you can say horse flyer or horse riding flyer. All of those words are going to not necessarily give me exactly what I'm looking for, but are going to start me out with probably the right colors, right elements, right ideas of what I need to start. So I'm going to type in horse riding flyer. There we go. And I'll take this off for now. And the first word we're going to learn is alignment. We're going to learn alignment. When I'm looking for this, I'm going to be looking for things that match what we're using and match our theme. But when we look at alignment, we're talking about, you notice all these things, you see a flow of how they are vertical, and you see all these things that are going in a certain order. These have vertical alignment. Different types of alignment. I'm going to pick something that is cute, and their brand colors are pink. Remember, we talked about the brand colors last on yesterday, and a lot of the same brand colors in here that I already have in brand kit are going to be the same as well. I don't really have her logo and things, so we're going to pick. Let's say, it's for an Airbnb. We want lots of pictures. I'm going to just pick something, a base. Not getting what I want quite here with this one, so we're going to go into, instead of horse riding flyer, we can type in Airbnb and see what that looks like. All right, as we see, we have a lot more words because this is something we want people to be taking action. And so I'm going to look at see things that have words that I might be able to use. And we don't have to think so much about the color because we're able to change that later. So I'm going to start with, okay, not Airbnb. We're going to go hotel because they got HVAC. Hotel flyer. And I'm doing it this way so you can see that it's not always a one and done. It's not always easy. And if you don't get it first time, try again. Now we're looking at some things that are going to be good flyers for what we're looking for. Like we can add pictures to because people want to see what it looks like. We add information. Now we are in the right area. So horse riding flyer didn't work well. Airbnb flyer didn't work well. Hotel flyers seems to do the trick. And now I have a lot of things I can pick from. So if I want to be able to put in pictures information, because this person said I would like people to be able to book my Airbnb and know why they want to book my Airbnb, I automatically have things in my head that I know I need to include, such as I need to include things about the room itself. I need to include things about what it looks like, things they can do around there, activities. And I also, because it's with horses and it's a ranch, I don't want to make it so it won't be a sans serif, it'll definitely be a serif font. And looking at these, I can see quite a few things that are sticking out to me, specifically the Royal Luxury Hotel. This has a serif font, meaning it has the feet. Remember, we're learning about feet. I'm going to click on it so you can see a bit more. Has a serif font, so you can see it has a space for photos. It has information, place to put information, place for a logo already. It has a place for content, and it's shaped in a way that can be used well. And the color can be changed as well. And also, when you click one thing that you do like the image of, it will give you more templates that are of that. And so you can continue to move on in that area versus looking at what you're already looking at. Let's go over some ones I'm not going to pick for a template and go over some whys. I will not be picking this one for a template. Why not? Right off bat, the font is not necessarily something I'm interested in. This font looks fun. It looks carefree. It looks casual, which is great because it's vacation. We want that. But the energy that they're giving at the location of this Airbnb that has horses and healing is not one. It's not wanting to casual. We're thinking more luxury, thinking more upscale. So we do not want to use a sans serif font, especially down here. It's a little more Comic Sansy. It's a little more casual and fun. This is more to think of in a different mindset of relaxation, vacation, but not so much as formal and elegance. Another one I wouldn't really use. Let's see. This one. Here's some reasons why I personally don't really apply. Some things about the layout of this as we learn the words. We have here, and the script can be used for luxury things or to show luxury type styles. But when you have this script, in my opinion, as with this gold that's a bit not necessarily as realistic gold, along with big chunky sans serif with the serif letters, all this mixed together kind of gives a confusion on whether or not we are super formal, whether or not we're relaxed, whether or not we're just there. And so this is not necessarily one ones I would pick, although you could change some things. Another thing that I don't like too much is that there's lots of negative space. And by negative space, I mean the space that is around the words is very open. There's a lot of room, and it's not necessarily balanced as well. And we'll learn all these words as we go through this class. So when I mean balance, when I mean side, we have lots of space and we have room in between the hotel and About Us and facilities, and it's very airy. On this side, it's very heavy. There's a lot more weight here. There's a lot less negative space room. There's only this little space in between these two circles and this 50% off. So we want to ensure that things are balanced. And then you get down here and we are very, very tight. And we also have a little space between this circle and the facilities 3 in this line. So we got lots of empty area, negative space on this side, but on this side, we're a little heavy. And it kind of just makes the flyer not as balanced, not as equal, which makes people feel a little subconscious and can make them psychologically feel not at ease, even if they don't know why they don't feel at ease. So we're just going to go ahead and go into the one that I did choose to start working with. And we're going to customize this template. And we'll use this to learn about our terms today. Now, this doesn't have any photos in this as of yet that we can use. These aren't our photos. Of course, you're going to change these. We're also going to change the colors. Now, when you found a template, the first thing we're going to want to do is ensure we go ahead and change over everything to that of our client. So the first thing we do is change some colors. The font, if the font is okay, then we can keep that. Now, this person does not have a brand guide as of yet. Sometimes you get people and they say, I don't have a specific font that I use all the time. Or maybe their brand font isn't something that they maintain all the time. It's more so, we like what makes sense at the time. So you can choose. In this case, I'll be choosing, and I'm going to be picking a color. This person also doesn't have a specific hex color, but they have a lot of the same colors as this No Chandra here. So I'm going to go ahead and choose this Dusty Rose. They use a lot of Dusty Rose, I've noticed, in their brand. And I'm also going to keep a little bit of the brown only because you don't want it to be so heavy all on one color. You want to have a variety. So I'm going to go ahead and add a few colors from this brand kit. And that's just to start. Am I going to keep all of them the same? Not necessarily, but what it does is help me to get in a mode to see things in the image that I would like to, and also be able to see my clients' branding and see their ideas come to life. I don't like that color. Since that's a brown, I'm going to pick that brown. I don't really like that one either. Another thing I like to do is try to stick within the theme of what colors are already there. So if this darker color, what they've already given you with putting your own color, your own swag, your own style in it. As same as the text. Now, mind you, if they did not, if my brand already had a text, a font for my text, I just click on it and change it to what mine was. This one doesn't have one, but what I would not do, for instance, I chose this because it has those serif fonts. I would not choose a sans serif font, or especially a like Arial. It changes the entire look of the, if I go ahead and change that to this, you'll see it changes the entire look of the screen. I changed everything on the screen to it, and it just automatically lowered the image of this graphic. It is no longer giving luxury, it's no longer giving seriousness, it's now giving more casual, it's giving discount, it's giving not what we're going for. So I'm gonna go ahead and change that font back. And we're gonna put it, what happened to it? There we go. I got rid of it, so now I have to type it again and hope it comes back up. There we go. Actually, I'll just press back. There we go. Just press back. That will undo everything easier. There we go. And one more time. There we go. Now we have one right back. Awesome. Let's go ahead and check on y'all. Let's take some time now that we've set that up to go ahead and get some of these words together. As we see that we went on alignment, the alignment has a lot to do with what way the words are going, what way the information is going. And this page, we're going down. As you see all the words, you're showing a big word at the top, a big information at the top to bring your brain to start reading. The first thing is the Royal Luxury Hotel, and then bringing down as we go with more information. And it's going this way. Now, sometimes they have you read things, it's going vertical. Sometimes they have you read horizontally. You could also have things be read diagonally, one way, or diagonally the other way. This alignment is going vertical. It's a vertical alignment. I also want to bring to your attention visual hierarchy. This is a great representation of visual hierarchy. What is visual hierarchy? Visual hierarchy is the ability to introduce information in a certain order based on how you've placed the visual, based on how you created the flyer. So as we see, the first thing we can look at is that title, the Royal Luxury Hotel. So some simple ways that you can include and establish a visual hierarchy is, as they use in this one, scale. One of the first ones is scale. Scale is the size. It's actually just the size of what you have going on in a comparison to other things. And so for this flyer, I'm gonna make it bigger so you can see it more. This flyer, the first thing you notice when you look at it is the Royal Luxury Hotel. The second thing that you can notice, and if you notice as well, the scale of this red square is larger than this second red square. It brings your eyes to this red square first, and then it brings it down to the second red square. So for here, the second thing you know is the starting price that it is $500. It's 500. It looks like 500,000. $500 a night. The Royal $500 a night. Then it brings your eyes, because your eyes start to look at the colors, and bring your eyes directly over to this first picture and this second picture, and then down to the contact information. They're using scale, but they're also using another aspect of visual hierarchy, which I like to go to, contrast. So color and contrast allows for you to help people's brains to do what you want them to do when it comes to looking at your flyer, your visual. On this graphic, what you see is that dark color draws your attention first. The other colors that they use were more background colors, more muted colors. I even chose that light pink in the corner, and it's very, very minimal. That color really does benefit by popping out and saying, read me first, as well as using the contrast of that white on the red. It points out to you a lot quicker than it does with that muted taupe with the dark brown or black for the about us and the additional information with the features. So what we're focusing on here is how they use color and contrast to draw your attention to the very focal points they want you to see first. Okay. Also, contrasting styles and shapes. If you notice in this as well, we not only do we have squares, we have circles. The squares are larger, so they're using scale for that. But also in general, we're also having those circles to bring your attention to say, "Oh, what's that? That's something special." Everything else on this page is very angular. You see the diagonal pink shape in the bottom. You see that line going through the middle. You see how we have square blocks for words. They're not rounded blocks. And we're bringing a lot of attention to the rigidness and the shapes and the lines and the angles. But we have two circles there. And that is to bring your attention and softness to the sales and the prices they have available for you that are lower than the rigid prices that are seen initially. So they're using those things as well. I also want to bring back the balance and symmetry we were speaking of earlier as well. So this balance and symmetry, if you look here in this slide, the one I chose, it has, for the most part, a balanced amount of weight in the entire picture. The only place in this picture that doesn't have a lot of weight going on is the very top, and that is to bring attention to the picture you really want them to see. Now we're going to go ahead and start working a little bit on this flyer as we're learning about it. And as we do, we're going to go over the important aspects of a flyer. This is just the first thing we're going to be learning in this class, is just to create a basic flyer. The first thing we're going to do as we're creating this, because we got our template, we've already changed our colors. I didn't add the logo in, but I'm going to get to that as well. You're going to change the words. And we're going to do in the order of importance. The first thing is creating a clear, concise goal or purpose. Now, that title does not need to say Ostal Palace. That title doesn't need to say book our Airbnb, unless that's our goal. Our title doesn't need to say the owner or the name. It needs to be what our actual goal is. So this one, their goal might be recognition of their hotel exists. For this specific purpose, we want people to know that they can create their own retreat experience at their Airbnb. They have a concierge that will be planning your favorite activities, from horseback riding to hosting a luncheon or a brunch, a tea party, a micro wedding. You can do those things, and the purpose is to let people know that they can do those things. When they book their Airbnb, it comes with a concierge, and you can get these services. So we're going to make sure that's the first thing they see, using that visual hierarchy we learned about. And the words we want to use, that is a creative part. That's something you have to come to on your own, unless they give you copy of what to use. Most of the time, people do not necessarily know what to put or give you exact copy, but if you are very blessed, use it. For now, we'll write one. So we're going to say it's Ostal Palace, and they create experiences for you while you're in their Airbnb. So we're going to, I like the royalty retreat. Let's see. A royal, a getaway. Fit for royals. Let's put royalty. If you notice, you see how that didn't fit? We want to maintain this certain space. So what I'm going to do, I have options. I don't want to move it over. This is one of the things we were talking about alignment. If everything here is aligned on this line, we want to make sure that there's a good line going. I don't want to say, oh, this doesn't fit. Let me move over here. Additionally, I want room for things to breathe. That's important. Room to breathe is important. So if you notice, this template does not start all the way on the corner. I'm not going to move it all the way over here and say, well, let me just move it over here so it'll fit. And now it's here. What that does, if I start moving things over, is now changes the balance of the photo, but also it adds less room on the side and makes everything fit very, very, very tight, and it feels like there's not enough space or room for things. People feel uncomfortable. I know you feel uncomfortable, but you do. happens if I want to put something somewhere and it doesn't really fit there anymore? I'm going to, one, see if I need to change. I'm not going to change my kerning. Remember, we learned that last week. I'm going to change size just a little bit. I still need to be larger because of that hierarchy. And once I've changed that bottom one, I can change this top to add a little bit of size, and still you'll bring your attention will still be brought to the beginning. Getaway. And now we have a little bit of an issue because the getaway is too big for the bottom, and it looks as if that kerning is a bit off. So we're going to go ahead and change this kerning just a little bit with this letter spacing, and we're still behind shape. Sometimes you also notice it's just not possible to get the same thing that you want with the same amount of letters, because this has more letters. So because fit for royalty and a getaway is important to me, I can either change the words, I can change that size back down, or I can put the word fit here. So we're going to go back and just change all these things to the beginning. There we go, the Royal Luxury Hotel. And think of something else. So fit for luxury, fit for royal would not fit there, and two words will fit there. Let's go experience, because we want to bring the royal experience. I do like this, and now we're going to add information. We're just going to add some text. We're going to add at Ostel Palace, because that is what the information we actually want. Now, additionally, instead of me adding this text here, what I could have done easier is just make a copy of this by pressing this duplication button. I just clicked on it and made a copy. I'll do that again so you can see it. I'm going to click it, and then I'm going to press this duplicate button, because I don't want to have to waste time in getting that same text, size, shape, everything I just have. At Ostel Palace. All right, and we're going to make this a bit smaller, because this is not as much of the information as we want them to have. It's not the main part of it. I just wanted to make sure that Ostel Palace was added so they knew what the royal experience was for or about. And I'm probably likely going to add that somewhere else. Now, mind you, this is art, and art is subjective, and you can do whatever you like for your own art experience. So don't be like, well, I wouldn't have done it that way. That's fine. Do yours how you like to do it. The royal experience at Ostel Palace. And now what we have as an issue is we notice that we are unbalanced again. So this is now not as large, and this is looking a little bit full, and we don't have any room. I'm going to bring this down just a little bit to add some space back to that negative space. And voila, we have a tension grabbing area again that is also at the scale to be larger than the other aspects, to ensure that is the first thing we look at. The royal experience at Ostel Palace. And we're going to bring that just a little bit. There we go. There we go. And it looks like I can go up in size just a little bit, so I'm going to. 38. Okay, let's try this with 38 as well. Yes, I like that. That looks good. We'll keep it there. Now that's a little bit off of, we'll fix that in a second. Sometimes camera makes it difficult to be exactly lined up where it's supposed to be lined up at. There we go. That looks good. The Royal Experience of Ostel Palace. Here we go. Let's see. And then offered at, and then this price. The next thing we want to bring attention to, because we want them to know it's a Royal Experience at this place. The next thing we want to bring attention to is what they're going to get. Here, they said we want to bring attention to the price. We're going to bring attention to free concierge. Free concierge. That's not what I wanted at all. I don't know where that box came from. I must have clicked on something. There we go. Retreat concierge. I'm still working on this spelling. There we go. I believe that's how you spell retreat concierge. I'm going to go down in size just a little bit so it will fit, but not too much. let's see. I'm going to make this say included. That had a price. We're not going to put a price. Included. Included. There we go. I don't like that. Let's say complimentary. Let's say complimentary. Yeah, complimentary. Because I'm adding in my messaging. Oh, let's see. Actually, let's change this complimentary. And this to concierge. Concierge. And we have more room. So let's see if we can put retreat concierge. Looks like we may be able to do this and turn it down just a little bit with space so we have that room. And this means this needs to be a little bit lower as well because it's bringing too much attention to itself. Complimentary retreat concierge. And now they have much space here because that was smaller. And now look, go. We have two main important parts that we put. The Royal Experience at Austin Palace, complimentary retreat concierge. With that, we are doing what we first want to do, which is to show a clear, concise goal or purpose immediately. Point blank, there it is. The second thing we want to do is create that great headline, which is what we're working on right now, which is the Royal Experience complimentary retreat concierge. The next one we're going to do is we're going to create a important message and call to action. So we got their attention. What do we want to do now? Give them an important message and tell them what to do with this important message information. So I'm going to go here. Let's see, give me some information. Now, this information I've created for my client as copy as well. One second, let me pull it up. It's coming. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to, those notes have gone somewhere. We're going to, there we go. Pulling up their information. Just 1 second. My computer is moving a little slow because I'm doing a lot of stuff at one time. So give me a second to pull that up. I thought it was up already. I do not have that. Okay, so we're going to not have that, and we're going to have to get it from. I will find this information. Let's see. I will just begin writing it. Let's see. Instead of about us, we're going to put book your stay because we want them to know exactly what we want them to do. And then we're going to put here, we offer, so they can know that. And at this location, they have horseback riding. They have tea parties. They have luncheons. At the very top as well, I'm going to put micro weddings. That is not going to fit. So we're going to put, we will put luncheons here because it's spacing. Luncheons. We will put microphones at my apologies. Let me share my screen again. There we go. Okay, book your Crystal Palace and allow your complimentary I did not spell complimentary right on the first one. Complimentary. We're going to find out how to spell complimentary. Complimentary. You know when you look at things too long, they don't look right anymore? Complimentary is what I thought. There we go. And the L was in the wrong spot. 1 second, we get that there. PLI. There we go. Your complimentary treat. Concierge will lead you through the process, through planning your very own royal itinerary for your enjoyment, enjoyment during your stay. Wonderful. So that is the first part, and that was what we were going over, is making sure that we have that call to action, and we also have making sure we have that important message. Oh, you cannot see that. My apologies. Oh, you can't see that. Okay, there we go. Go back to that. So we have those two. And the last one, few things we're going to do before we leave today. We're going to go over graphics and imagery. As you notice, I haven't changed any of the graphics yet. So what I'm going to do is go get some of those pictures, and I'm going to go to my uploads. And I'm going to add them. So we're going to go to upload. And notice I'm doing this last because if you won't want to put pictures there, and you're not going to be exactly sure what you want. me get these pictures. I'm just going to pick a few that we can use for them. Okay, and we're going to get those. Okay, share our screen again. There we go. So we got the first picture. We're going to go ahead and move this over to this picture here. That's a picture of their bed. We're not going to leave it up to 50% off. And then we're going to get another picture of the outside of it. So we're going to go ahead and upload my files and pick another picture of that. Let's see. Here's a nice picture. I'm getting some pictures from Hostel Place. Here you are. And we're going to just add in this picture. Yes, let's go ahead and add this one. There we go. That's it. There we go. And then for this last picture at the top, let's go ahead and add. Now, mind you, we can't really see her because it's getting covered, so it might not be the best picture. Let's maybe add this one. Let's see what this one looks like. I like this picture, and we're going to bring it down just a little bit as well. There we go. I like that. Oh, now you can't see it all the way, so we're going to go back up. There we go. You can kind of see a bit of what they have going on there. Now, mind you, there are some better pictures, but the sake of time, we'll pick this one. There we go. Got of it. Work experience. Now, the problem will be My apologies, we keep getting disconnected. Okay, let's try this one more time. Okay, so the last part we're going to be doing is going to go to uploads, and we've changed that front cover. We're going to be adding in our contact information. After our graphics and imagery, the last thing we're going to be doing is making sure that we have exactly where to find us and where to get this information in. So your contact information and next steps should be the last thing we go over. So we're going to go ahead and go to adding in a website. So we're going to go into austropalace.org or .com, we do .com.org, and then email. So we'll leave it at hello or info. Let's say info or booking at austropalace.com. And then we're gonna put a phone number and an address. And we're pretending that's the phone number, and we're gonna leave it contact us. So this is a typical flow of how you're gonna use it and not change much. This is, oh, I didn't add her logo here. Take that out, and we're going to that logo, if I even have that logo on this one. Here we are. Look, I did have the logo here. Awesome. So this is not the Austell Palace logo, but we're going to use it for now for Austell Place. We're going to put that here. There we go. And that is me making a basic flyer for a client. We did that in less than an hour. I didn't change much on this template, but I wanted to go over some basic components that are important while doing it. And with that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. With that, I'd like to thank you for joining us today. And for your homework, I want you to make just that one flyer for your client. Whatever information you got last class, I want you to use that to make a flyer. And your homework is uploading that flyer with an explanation of why you made the choices that you did, using at least 5 terms. Tell me about 5 elements, 5 terms, 5 key things you learned in this class that we went over that you thought made that flyer. That's your homework for this week. I hope you have